Hello, my lovely. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Priestess Peaches, aka Jackie Lane from yourpeachylife.com. I empower ambitious women in long-term relationships to operate in their empowered feminine energy so that they can have the love, pleasure, sex, and money that they have always wanted. And I want to speak about, I'm just speaking on like relationshipy vibes today. What to do when your man doesn't seem to understand and hear you even when you are spelling it out to him. It can be very frustrating, right? Where you are literally telling him and he cannot hear, or it just seems like he is void of understanding or void of compassion or empathy, or he is just like so reluctant and resistant, right? And it's so frustrating because you're literally telling him. You are telling him how it is. You are telling him what you feel. Sometimes you're even telling him how you want things to be and how you want him to respond and what he should be doing. And you spell it out and you say, this is exactly it. And he's just like, oh. Or he's just getting more and more aggravated, agitated, or he just distances himself and avoids you, or it just gets brushed under the carpet and you're left feeling like, what the heck, this isn't good. And you feel like, I don't want to tolerate this. And yeah, so when I'm just reading my notes, okay, that's why I keep looking down at the floor. When he doesn't understand you, when you're spelling it out to him, it's likely because you are not in your empowered feminine energy, because you are telling him. When you're in this space of telling, you're in this forward moving energy. You're in this leaning forward energy. You're telling him what to do. You're telling him how it should be. You're explaining everything. You're literally telling him, but you're going into so much detail. And the issue is that the empowered feminine, it's not going to step forward when you're going into all these details. A man will not be able to comprehend. He's always seeking to please you. And when you're coming at him with all this information, it's overwhelming to him. He feels like he can't please you. He feels like whatever he's doing is wrong and that he can't please you. And so it makes him feel disheartened. He will feel disheartened. He will feel like he can't do right by you. And it basically stops him from being able to feel like he can please you. And that's how he needs to feel, okay? When you're in this like telling him, explaining space, you're leaning forward. If you've watched my other videos, then you know about the intimacy bubble. And when you're in the intimacy bubble and you're explaining and telling, you're leaning forward, it pushes him out the bubble. He doesn't know how to be close with you. You need to lean back so that he is inspired to close the gap, right? It's really that simple. But when you're first learning this stuff, it feels very counterintuitive, because you think, well, I need to tell him all this information. I need to tell him, I need to explain to him. But all it does is push him out. It pushes him away from his masculine energy, because you're taking up space in masculine energy. So we've all been there. I still go there. This is how I know how this works, because the time, like for me now, it's not as common for me to be in the wounded spaces. And when it does happen, it's so obvious to me, because I can instantly see where I've gone wrong or where I'm not in my empowered feminine energy, because of the way the results I see, the response I get. Sorry, I got an itchy ear. So what do you need to do instead? You need to not go into details. You need to learn how to be concise in your communication. You need to learn how to communicate from your feminine energy feeling space in a way that isn't forward moving, where you're not forward moving, you're actually leaning back. And you do not spell it out to him, because here's the thing, you don't need to. You don't need to explain to him. You don't need to go into all the details when you're in your empowered feminine energy. It can be quite challenging if you haven't experienced evidence of this from a man or your man. Initially, it will feel like that's never going to work. How's he ever going to understand? How's he ever going to learn? And so there's ways of expressing what you want, what you mean, and what doesn't feel good in a very concise way that inspires his masculine energy. That means that it creates this space that he feels compelled to move into. And so the way that you do that is to, sorry, I'm just noticing that I don't have much filming time left on my phone, like literally just a few minutes. So I'm going to have to wrap this up. So yeah, you don't want to be telling him. You don't want to be convincing him. You don't want to be explaining. You don't want to be giving all the details. You want to be in your feeling space. You want to be validating yourself on the inside. You want to be learning how to be concise with how you communicate, so you're not going into these big, long workshopping the relationship the whole time. You don't need to keep workshopping the freaking relationship. Just as and when things come up, you express in the empowered feminine. And it is dealt with there and then, right? It shifts there and then. It doesn't have to be this big drama. It doesn't have to be this big hoo-ha and this massive workshopping and going into everything that's not working, okay? That makes him feel very unsafe and like he can't please you. That's not what we want. We want him to feel like he can please you. We want him to hear you and understand you and to actually step forth for you in his king energy, in his God energy. We want him to feel confident that he can please you. We want him to feel confident in his approach, in his his way of fixing it, if you will. We want him to feel like an empowered man. He can't feel like an empowered man when you're taking up space in the masculine energy, okay? I've got to leave it here because this is literally going to run out of filming time. So if you want more information about this and you want to learn how to operate in your empowered feminine energy so that you can have the love, pleasure, sex, and money that you have always wanted, then you can be part of my signature program, Rising in Love, Pleasure, Sex, and Money, funnily enough. I'm offering the group mastermind. It's a 3-month mastermind, and you'll have access to all the course content. It's 12 weeks of course content, pre-recorded, plus we have weekly live group calls where you will receive bespoke, personalized support around all the wounds and toxicity coming up in your relationship with your man and money and your sex life. Or if you want to work with me one-to-one, you can very much do that. The minimum time scale for working with me one-to-one is 3 months, and it goes up to 12 months. So we can really go deep into all the things in your life. And I know that it will completely transform your life. So if you're interested in that, then please click the link in the description box below to apply or to sign up. I'll also leave the link to become one of my goddess subs over on my website platform, where you will be invited to create your own sacred password, to be part of my email list, and you'll receive access to my free 7 guided yoni breathing practices. So there's one for every day of the week. You can fit them into your busy schedule because they're just short guided yoni breathing practices, and yoni breathing is a great way to connect with your feminine energy, to connect with your pleasure power, to become magnetic, and to create the environment within your body that enables you to experience expansive orgasms, expansive pleasure and bliss. And when you sign up there, you'll be part of my platform, so you'll be able to see all the other offerings that I have. I have Women's Sex Secrets, which is £5.55. That is my e-guidance book. I have Reawaken Your Yoni, which is a 6-week online home study course. And I also have the Rising in Love, Pleasure, Sex and Money group mastermind and one-to-one program. So I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or just what comes up for you, if there's any videos you want me to do, any topics you want me to address, and I will see you in my next video. Have an amazing day and remember to keep it juicy. Mwah!